There are moments in the history of space exploration that defy logic, that make scientists sit back and question everything they thought they knew. This story is one of those moments. It begins with a spacecraft designed to study the largest planet in our solar system, Jupiter, a probe built with cutting-edge technology, fueled by decades of research, and tasked with uncovering the secrets of this gas giant. But no one, not a single scientist at NASA or the global community watching this mission, could have predicted what this probe would capture on its way to Jupiter. What it saw left even the most experienced astronomers completely stunned. The probe had a relatively simple objective: map Jupiter's magnetic field, study its atmosphere, and provide high-resolution images of its turbulent cloud bands. But space, as always, had other plans. A few weeks after the gravitational slingshot passed Earth, when the probe was deep into the asteroid belt, the instrument started picking up something odd. At first, it was dismissed as a calibration error, a flicker in the plasma sensors, but as the days passed, it became impossible to ignore. The probe's cameras, designed to scan cosmic radiation and objects in visible and infrared spectrums, began detecting structures. Not just natural formations like asteroids or rogue ice chunks, these were symmetrical, angular, organized. The images came back showing what looked like hexagonal patterns etched into a massive object, something that was absolutely not supposed to be there. At first, the mission team thought it was a glitch, maybe a reflection, an artifact of light bouncing off the probe's lens. But the more images that came through, the clearer it became. This object wasn't small. In fact, the preliminary data suggested it was roughly the size of Manhattan. Floating silently in the dark, just beyond the orbit of Mars, the engineers scrambled. Could it be an unknown asteroid with bizarre geometric properties? Maybe. But asteroids don't emit radio pulses, and yet, that's exactly what the probe started picking up. A rhythmic, repeating signal. A frequency so precise, so mathematically perfect, that it couldn't possibly be random. 3 pulses, pause, 5 pulses, pause, repeating over and over. Some scientists were convinced this was just a natural quirk, maybe an exotic form of pulsar interference, but others weren't so sure. As the probe continued on its journey, it kept its cameras fixed on this anomaly until it faded into the cosmic distance, but that wasn't the end. Roughly 2 weeks later, as it passed through the outer edge of the asteroid belt, another strange reading came in. The magnetometer went wild. Something nearby was bending the magnetic field lines, but there were no planets, no moons, not even large asteroids nearby to cause it. Then the cameras caught it, a dark silhouette against the backdrop of stars. The object shifted, repositioned itself, and for a brief second, it emitted a pulse of radiation so intense that the probe's instruments temporarily shut down. When they came back online, the object was gone, completely vanished, left with nothing but the eerie silence of deep space and a set of data that scientists still can't fully explain. But the strangest moment was yet to come. Just 5 days before entering Jupiter's magnetosphere, the probe's ultraviolet sensors detected an enormous plume, something emerging from the direction of Europa, one of Jupiter's icy moons. Now, Europa is already known for its subsurface ocean and occasional geysers that spray water into space. But this wasn't water. As the probe drew closer, the cameras zoomed in. There, emerging from a fissure in Europa's ice, was a plume that extended hundreds of kilometers into space. But at the center of it was a structure, not natural, not geological. It looked like a spire, tall, metallic, reflective. It stood half buried in the ice, tilted, as if it had been there for thousands, maybe millions, of years. And from the base of this spire, the sensors recorded a low-frequency hum. Not radio, not electromagnetic, but vibrational. Like a resonance through the very fabric of space. Panic gripped the control room back on Earth. The data was undeniable, yet no one wanted to be the first to say it out loud. Could this be evidence of extraterrestrial engineering? A relic from a civilization far older than humanity? If so, why here? Why hidden beneath the ice of a Jovian moon? As the probe completed its trajectory past Europa and prepared for orbital insertion around Jupiter, one final anomaly occurred. Something that still baffles scientists to this day. The onboard star tracker, a device that maps the positions of known stars to help the probe orient itself, failed completely. For 43 minutes, it registered nothing. The stars were gone. Not dimmed, not obscured, just not there. as if space itself had blinked out. This mission, originally intended to simply study Jupiter's storms and magnetic field, had stumbled into something far greater. Something that challenges our understanding of the universe. Are we being watched? The probe successfully entered orbit around Jupiter, sending back breathtaking images of the planet's swirling storms, the great red spot, and the mesmerizing auroras at its poles. But the questions raised during its journey to get there remain unanswered. Scientists around the world continued to analyze the data, hoping for clarity. But deep down, everyone involved knows one thing for certain. Space is far stranger, far more mysterious, and far more alive than we ever imagined. If you found this story as mind-blowing as we did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Beyond Stars, and turn on notifications because trust me, the universe still has plenty of secrets left to reveal.